let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go.
Six.
It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive and Willis Nissan. Drive the 2026 Pathfinder for just $199 a month. A stylish sedan with impressive tech, comfort, and value at a price that's hard to beat. Start your buying journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream this morning on the rushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Leave your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can always call the show at 515-517-2303 and follow us on our social media channels. Good morning, Ross Peterson. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Travis Justice. How are you this morning, my friend?
You know, I'm a little tired. I stayed up a little bit past my bedtime last night.
Yeah, what was keeping you up late last night?
Well, I was at the College World Series last night.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was watching Oklahoma beat Georgia 4-3. A really good game, pretty fast game. But, you know, I did the old thing where, okay, I'm just going to wait here since I was sitting in a suite and let traffic clear out. So you stick around in the suite, let everybody leave. Then I'm walking across the street. My buddy goes, "Hey, do you want to stop for a beer?" I'm like, okay, we'll stop for a beer.
This is where they get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop for a beer. You know what you're doing. You knew what. Not you.
Neutral.
Not you. You had no idea. You had no idea. It was you. This is your friend's fault. This is all your friend's fault. Who was the friend?
It was my boss, actually. So,
that's a different story.
When your boss says, "I know," it's like, you know, okay, we'll stop for one.
You had a neutral.
I had a neutral.
Courtney likes those. What is the? They got the carbonation?
Yeah, I think there's a little carbonation in there. I believe there's carbonation. I got an orange neutral. They only had strawberry and orange, and I'm like, the lesser of two evils to me is the orange. So I felt like I was drinking Tang last night. And then I got home about, I don't know, close to 11 o'clock, and for some reason, you ever reach a point where you're so tired, because you and I go to bed fairly early, I think we do, or we start dozing off. But you cross this threshold where you stay up and you're like, oh, I can't go to sleep. I cannot go to
being
sleep.
Hungry too. Do you ever wait too long to eat and then you can't eat?
Yeah, I'm not hungry now.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, sleeping's the same way. That happens to me, Trav, when I take those the NyQuil or any of those sleeping aids. I get real tired and real tired, and then if I don't hit that window, it doesn't work.
You powered through it. I beat the NyQuil. Yes. But yeah, saw a really good game at the College World Series. So Oklahoma is now in the driver's seat on their side of the bracket. They won't play again until Wednesday, and then North Carolina is on the other side of the bracket in the winter side. So today you got West Virginia taking on Troy. That'll be an elimination game. And then tonight Texas takes on Georgia, another elimination game. But as I was sitting there last night at the College World Series, the news drops on the televisions. Brendan Sorsby decides to go into the supplemental draft. He withdraws his lawsuit against the NCAA. Texas Tech comes out and says this is probably, the only viable option that Brendan Sorsby has. Because yesterday, Ross, as we were getting in the middle of the show, we were talking about the Big 12 Board of Directors getting ready to meet. Right after we get off the air, the Big 12 says, oh, checkmate, because they filed in federal court seeking an injunction for them to be able to go through with their bylaws and their laws to punish Texas Tech. And then the NCAA asked for an expedited judgment on the injunction that they wanted to have done by the time college football started. And at that point, there was nowhere else on the chessboard for Texas Tech or Brendan Sorsby to go, because this was not going to be cleared up probably by the college football season. If the federal court, and I stress there, Remember, Texas Tech went to court in state court. The Big 12 went straight to the feds and said, hey, do we get to uphold our bylaws here, the stuff that we've put into place? And once that was filed, I think Texas Tech just said, I don't think there's any more places to move on the chessboard here. We can't do anything. Maybe it's best that you go to the NFL supplemental draft.
Yeah, I mean, but again, remember, it wasn't Texas Tech that did any of this, right? It's
None whatsoever. We're just supporting a young man.
Yes, supporting like they would any of their athletes, students. I'm glad this is resolved, Travis. When that news came out yesterday, man, talk about some legalese. Did you when I don't mean the Sorsby news, I mean what the Big 12 had come out. They're filed a supplemental injunction, and I'm reading that. I'm like, what does any of this technical jargon mean? I knew none of it. Whatever it was, it worked. Whatever it was enough for Texas Tech to, again, I'm sorry, it was enough for Brendan Sorsby to understand and say, okay, it's time for this to go away. And now we go to the thing that should have been when we were at the beginning of June. We talked about this. Said, oh, yeah, we might not have heard the end of Brendan Sorsby because of the NFL supplemental draft, but he's never playing college sports again. Well, what's the damage that's done from this, Travis?
I think the big damage is going to be building the trust back up between the Big 12 member institutions in Texas Tech. This was everybody going, we're not supporting you here. This is the Big 12 commissioner threatening a lawsuit. Basically, when they wrote in there that the Big 12, the other 15 institutions do not believe that somebody who bet on their own team should be playing college sports, there's probably some internal damage here that has to be rebuilt back up with Texas Tech and everybody else. Now, Texas Tech may not care, but the Big 12's in a unique situation. Credit Brett Yormark here in leadership. If you want to, this takes true leadership to stand up to a lot of money, an institution that thinks it's probably bigger and better than everybody else, to say, no, you don't get to go rogue here, and you keep that group together. That's tremendous leadership by Brett Yormark.
I completely agree. Does this now set a precedent and put a line in the sand in some way? We've all talked about how this is the Wild West. We've all talked about how, these teams seem to be doing whatever they want. Is this how we get a handle? Is this how the guardrails get put in place? Does this become self-policing? I guess is what I'm asking here, Travis.
Maybe.
The way that the Big 12 said, okay, NCAA obviously is feckless. They can't do anything. They have no power. Maybe we got a little bit of power. Maybe we're the ones in charge of this. Maybe we're the adults in the room, and we can say, this is how, and I'm just, does this set a precedent of like, if Brad Heinrich decides to go rogue and start calling, Ricky Davis, hey, you got eligibility, dude. Come on. I'm just saying,
I like where you're going here. I like where you're going here.
Did this put up some guardrails now for this Wild West thing that we've lived in, where now the conferences are back in charge a little bit?
Well, what's the unintended consequence that could happen here, right? And that is, I like where you're going. I think this was a demonstration of a conference going, hey, we have bylaws and rules that we expect our member institutions to follow. One tried to skirt those. We're going to go to federal court, and even the school basically backs out at that point. But now you could have the Big Ten and SEC go, we can do our own thing. We can enforce our own laws. Maybe it's time to do our own thing. Even though they said that's not in the cards. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
It's We live in interesting times. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, we do.
But even though I think the legalese forced this, at the end of the day, Brendan Sorsby made the right decision. It ends a lot of turmoil within the league. It takes some criticism off Texas Tech in the short term. People will still be like, hey, we're not going to forget what you did. But now Texas Tech doesn't have to deal with it. And the league can get back to focusing on what's coming up, and that's the college football season. And the great news is, Ross, for the most part, we don't have to talk about it anymore.
It's over. This is over.
Even Tyler puts up, he goes, anybody else falling asleep to this topic?
This is the last we hear of Brendan Sorsby. I mean, Canadian Football League. Hakeem Butler, by the way, got picked up. Did you see that?
I did not.
UFL, something like that. This Sorsby does not land with an NFL team. I don't think this is the type of, he has the type of behavior that he has got a Johnny Manziel streak. I've said that before. That I think I don't think anybody picks him up in the supplemental draft.
What we haven't seen out of Brendan Sorsby, what we saw out of Johnny Manziel was the partying, the skirting your responsibilities. So I don't know if it's quite the Johnny Manziel streak. I know what you're saying when it comes to the gambling, because if you have that bug, you've got to fight that demon, and I do hope he continues to fight it and comes through it.
There's enough guys with his skill set.
Now, NFL teams, I'm kind of with you. I don't know. It'll be interesting. This will be the first supplemental draft since 2023. There hasn't been a player taken in the supplemental draft since 2019. So there's no guarantee, because if you weren't selected in the main draft and all of a sudden you find yourself eligible, people are like, we're not gonna do that.
It's a weird draft. Okay, did you say this is the first one they've had since 2023?
Yeah.
They don't even have it every year.
No.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was.
Either did I. That's what I read that this morning. I'm like, I thought this was an every year thing, and that's why I think a lot of people are confused by the supplemental draft. They're like, "What is
lucky
this
for Sorsby that it's happening this year?" Wow.
Yeah.
So it happens every 3 years or something like that. Is that or when?
I really don't know the answer to that. I just took it off the story I was reading this morning.
I don't know anything about it either, because I think I remember reading, Travis, that like, if you take a guy, it's like you lose that draft pick the following year or something. You basically put a bid in on a player.
Yeah, what happened was in 2019, I forget who the player was. It was they
Pryor?
picked him up. I don't know if it was Pryor, but whatever, it cost them a 5th round draft pick. So you went ahead and took one. Now, there are teams looking for quarterbacks. That's the thing. Who's looking for a quarterback? Or do they say, hey, Brendan, we're going to follow your progress. We're going to monitor you, but you might want to go play in the Canadian Football League. You might want to play a year in the UFL. It depends on who needs what. And if they're willing to take a chance on a guy that has a gambling problem and is admitted to having a gambling problem.
I can't even find stuff. I can't. It was not prior in 2019. Tyler says, "Yeah, that would have been. He'd been way before that, right?"
Yeah.
I just remember he's the only guy I know who was that was his path to the NFL. I'm even trying to find out information. That's how bad. That's how little we'll know about it. I don't think somebody takes a chance on him.
If they do, he's going to be doing a lot of interviews over the next several weeks to find out exactly what's going on. Texas Tech has said that any money that's been paid to Brendan Sorsby does not need to be returned. So whatever he's been paid just to step foot on campus, he gets to keep that money, which I'm okay with that, right? I mean,
he racked up some legal fees. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
He's going to have whatever he got probably isn't going to last long. So, yeah, I don't. There should be no hate against the kid of pay back everything that you got. Nothing like that. Let it be done. I'm okay with this. I will forget who Brendan Sorsby was in the next 2 months.
Unless he gets drafted, and then you go, oh, somebody took a shot on him.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm kind of with you on that, but I've seen stranger things. I've seen stranger things. I think the big thing, you ask what happens, I think the conference needs to heal. And it's really trusting one member institution.
Conference needs to heal.
There's some damage. I mean, in a short amount of time, you had people ganging up on you, right? And then you had pushback and saying, hey, we know what's best for our student athletes. We care about our kids. And it's just going to be one of those things where I think we now know when it comes to gambling that if you bet on your sport or if you bet on your team, that's the line in the sand. I do believe you'll get some people who think if you bet on the NBA or if you bet something else, we're okay with that. Just because of what's
this crossed a line somewhere, man. You're right about that. Travis. Yeah, we'll see. The damage to the conference, the damage to Texas Tech's reputation. Is Texas Tech still that? Are they still the big dog then? I mean, this seems to me like this. The conference putting Texas Tech in check like this. Is Texas Tech still that?
It's been maimed. It's been maimed.
Okay, I like that.
But I think when it comes to money, and you look at what Cody Campbell's been able to do, they're still going to try to assert themselves as the major player in the Big 12. And they got the resources and the money to do so. But it's good to see people stand up to them and go, yeah, we're not going to take your shit. And
I would agree with Brian on this. I think a lot will be it's going to take a while for the conference to heal. The reason I chuckled at that's funny to me because I think a lot of that is nonsense. Like they're all still going to be making they're going to be fine.
I guess when I look at it, and maybe Brian's not. I think the conference is fine, but there is still a level of internal trust. And we have Brian Hardin coming up at 7:00 with our first hour with the AD about how when you're an athletic director and you're in the Valley's. The Valley's not the Big 12 or the Big 10 and the SEC, but I guarantee there are topics that come up in those internal meetings where there's disagreement. And there may be institutions that say, hey, draw the... And what I mean from where it hurt the conference is just that level of unity where everybody works together. I don't think the conference itself is damaged. I'm talking about more internal stuff than external.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
I wonder how any of those institutions could have any of that at all. Did when Wichita State's getting ready to bounce out of the Valley, does the athletic director go into that room and go, hey guys, I want you all to know something because we all trust each other and we all like each other. I want to let you know I'm sniffing around. I'm looking outside of the office here.
Oh no, they just go in and say we're out.
Well, what about the trust? Hold on. You just got done talking about all the trust and how they have to work together.
I think there was trust up until you leave. You don't go, hey guys, we're leaving.
So here's my point. So then when Creighton walks in the door and they go, hey guys, by the way, we've been sniffing around, we're out. And then when another institution does it and don't you at some point go, okay, I get it. We don't actually have any trust. We just lie to each other. We tell each other we do. We get under this umbrella. Like when this thing of, oh man, how would any of them trust Texas Tech again? Jamie Pollard was in the room when Oklahoma and Texas bounced. I would hope that he looks around the room. I would hope Jamie Pollard doesn't look at BYU and Cincinnati and go, my longtime brothers who I've always been in the foxhole with. All the trust that I've got with all these guys. No, I would hope he looks at it and goes, okay, we've got a business relationship here with these guys, but I've learned that business relationships change really quickly. So this thing of like, do they have the Big 12 trust again? They took his pen away, and now are they going to give him his pen back when he comes back in the room again next week?
No, but it's kind of like when you get into a fight with your spouse or your friend who maybe stabbed you in the back, right? To where, okay, we're going to get along, but I'm not going to, I mean, it was reported that when the ADs were on the call, there were like expletives flown around. I mean, it got pretty heated. And so when you do that, it's just one of those, hey, you've got to earn it back. Before I fully dive in, and it depends on who takes stuff personal too, right? I mean, if you take something personally, you hold a grudge for a little bit. There might be people who hold a grudge, and that's I'm talking more of an internal thing than an external thing.
Okay, okay, that gets what you're saying there. Like, yeah, I would hope at this point all those guys walk into there knowing this conference loyalty thing is all just BS.
You mean the all for one and one for all?
The conference loyalty thing, however that you want to play it, it's BS. That we're here to unify together so that we have the buying power to sign better contracts. Don't mess with our stack, Texas Tech. And if you're going to mess with our stack, get out of here and you go play with somebody else's money. This is ours. That I get the internal part of that, like, but this thing, the thing of like, oh, are you really Big 12 or not really Big 12?
No, and I don't think I'm viewing it from that. And probably I came off wrong. I was just talking about when you have to work with somebody professionally and somebody goes around you, you do have to. I mean, trust me, I had to earn my wife's trust back more than one time or not before she's like, okay, I really love you again, right? I mean, and that's a bad example, but it's like when it gets personal, when it gets heated, when somebody just totally said, hey, we're right, you're wrong. When you're in those meetings, you're like, okay, can I trust what he's saying here? I don't think they're going to try to mess with anything else. It's just those personal relationships, and when is the next time that somebody else is going to try to make a move on the chessboard to assert power?
Yeah.
But the good thing is we don't have to talk about Texas Tech until, the college football season, and Brendan Sorsby now is going into the NFL supplemental
Probably
draft.
ever again.
Yes. Hey, we want to tell you about Dad's Distilled Wisdom. You do not want to miss out on this, because for Father's Day, you could be wearing, see that ring right there? And see that wood in there? That's a bourbon, or you could even get a single malt barrel. And these are good-looking rings. Ross was up at Fiscus Jewelers the other day, and you got to see these rings firsthand, didn't you? They
are gorgeous. They are really, really cool.
Yeah.
This was about the time we knew that we were going to be doing this promotion. And so it was, the emails were going as I was hanging out there, and I saw this. I was like, those are neat. The one you're seeing there on the screen, if you're not watching, you can't, this means nothing to you, but it's like a darker barrel.
Like barrel.
Yeah. They have some that have like almost a honey look to them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's really cool. There's a few that Noel has that are beautiful.
So this barrel-aged ring can be yours. All you have to do is email me, Travis@therushladio.com, the ultimate dadism or piece of advice that your dad gave you and actually turned out to be true, or we'll even take hilarious. When you do email me, make sure to include your ring size, and we'll select the winner on Thursday. I know this is a short promotion. That way you can get up to Fiscus Jewelers in Ankeny and select the ring that you want. And we're taking care of the guys. Taking care of the guys here on Father's Day. We got some distilled wisdom coming in, Ross.
All right, fire away.
From Kirk. One of the best pieces of advice I received from my dad. Son, there are 3 things you should never mess with when it comes to others, as it typically doesn't end well. Their money, their kids, their religion.
That's
he
good.
goes, probably heard this one when I was in high school, and 30 plus years later, there's a lot of truth in it.
Like that one a lot. Yep, that one's good.
The only time I disagree with messing with somebody else's kids, because this is the...
Go ahead. Go on. Sorry.
If there is a child in my house and they are misbehaving, you don't get to do that, right? I mean, so I'll give you an example. This is about 10 years ago.
Okay.
We had a party at the house. Kid's parents are there. Kid's being a total ass to his mom and dad. And I just said, hey, can we stop here? You don't treat your mom and dad like that in my house. You can do it in your house. This is my house. And you're going to act.
Look at you.
Because mom and dad weren't doing anything. They're like, I'm like, this is going to stop. Am I
feel
wrong
like
for doing that?
If mom and dad are there, no. Because then mom and if you go over the line, and again, I don't think you were over the line, but I think if mom and dad are there, then mom and dad can go, whoa, hey, yeah, that's over the line. That's over the line.
Yeah.
Johnny, you need to leave the room. Let's go. Come on. You're fine. You're fine with that.
Okay. Chris says, best dad advice I got? Here it is. Be the man you hope your daughter marries, the man you hope your son becomes, and the man your kids know they can call when life gets pretty heavy.
Those are good ones.
What I like about these are like super serious. My dad was never this warm with me. He never gave me this type of advice.
Yeah. This is what I was expecting and hoping for. I should have known yesterday. You got all excited. You're like, we got a really good one from Max. Max said, keep your pecker in your pants. That's the best. That's a good one from Chris. Those are good. I
did remember one my dad gave me. We were sitting at the bar, and I ordered a whiskey soda.
How old are you? Hold on. Stop.
I'm 21 here. Okay, this is after I got fired in Wausau.
In my head, you're like 13.
No.
Okay.
But I order a whiskey Sprite, right? And he goes,
yeah.
Always get water with whiskey. The Sprite will give you a headache. So I've never had like pop in my whiskey ever since, just because he said,
because it'll give you a headache.
Give you a headache. And Kevin says, my father would always tell me, take advantage of every situation that you can. And if the situation should come up, nothing is better than swimming with bow-legged women. I don't quite get that.
That's remember I've told you about the old Indian fella I grew up by, Elmer Lynn, inventor. Elmer would get drunk and he would at the block parties he would sing a song, and one of the songs I remember him singing was, I like to go swimming with bull-legged women and dive between their legs.
Oh, man. Hey, it is our first hour with the AD segment. Brian Hardin from Drake University going to be joining us at 7 o'clock. He'll be with us the entire hour. So lots of good stuff coming with Brian Hardin. Remember, if you're not feeling right, do not ignore it. Treat it, but treat it your way. Urology Center of Iowa has a dedicated men's health wellness center designed to restore your confidence and your comfort and put you back in control. Because at UCI, you will get personalized treatment based on you and nobody else. You deserve a clear plan, a private, tailored experience, and judgment-free care. That's UCI. Schedule an appointment with UCI today at iowauro.com.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire, a front row tickets to every show millionaire, a hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
When you work with a company like Mr. Electric that goes above and beyond and makes the customer their priority, that is just a real joy to encounter these days. It was a fairly complicated project and it was intimidating. They made it look so easy and they were very professional, very clean folks. They thoroughly explain what they're going to do. It's clear that they're experienced and that they know what they're doing. Having professionals out there that can do that for me, that gives me a lot of peace of mind.
When I'm meeting a new patient, I want them to feel comfortable knowing that odds are I've seen something like this before.
From the moment a patient steps into the room to the moment the patient leaves the office, I think they're going to get a great experience.
I think it feels good coming in and feeling like it's a community here and you get to be a part of that community and get to be taken care of by that community.
My goal is when they walk out of there to know that I'm fighting for them, I'm pulling for them. Schedule an appointment at Iowa UR.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat, Norm. Norm knows basketball, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert. Please call me. I would love to help you.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I am Roman Lehman, Service Advisor at Willis. For the 2026 summer season, we will be offering 15% off all fuel system services. Over time, carbon builds up inside your engine, and these services clean out all carbon deposits for better engine performance. Don't let carbon deposits get in the way of your summer plans. Visit willisnissan.com to book your service today.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
I hope you're stretched, hydrated, and prepared for more nonsense, because The Rush with Travis and Ross, presented by Willis Automotive, is back now.
If you're looking for a mortgage for the home you're getting ready to buy, Gary Presnell, a mortgage banker with Northwest Bank, is the man to call because he's been financing residential homes the past 25 years. Gary offers VA, FHA, IFA first-time buyer loans, and conventional and new construction loans, and all approvals are done locally by Northwest Bank. He can get that loan pre-approved in 30 minutes, and it can happen after hours during the week and even on the weekends. Give him a call at 515-975-6767. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson, who's got a little grin on his face. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
What the?
Well, you had a little hot mic, so I had to mute you.
You muted me on that side, too. I had a hot mic because the commercial didn't start. We were sitting, all of a sudden I looked up and I just saw you sitting there and I was like, uh-oh. And then I saw the commercial start anyway.
You must have done it pretty quick because I didn't even notice it because I turned away and I heard it. I was like, oh, okay. See, the wonders that we can both do things at the same time. It bails us out every now and then. So that's good. Have you seen the drama going on at Michigan State?
Dude, I saw a thing with Pat Fitzgerald and Izzo, just basically like, and I wonder, you could see the panic in their eyes as I'm scrolling through. I'm like, what is going on with Tom Izzo and Pat Fitzgerald's life right now? And it turns out that, like, who knows, right? Because the AD is gone.
The AD left yesterday to take the job at Kentucky. And 2 weeks ago, the president resigned to take the job at Clemson. And he openly, and this goes to the president, who Tom Izzo said is the best president he's worked with at Michigan State. And he says he's disgusted. He challenged all 600,000 alums to take a stand. He goes, I'm going to talk more about this in the future. But it has to do with power, right? It all comes down to power. And that is strife within the Board of Trustees. And Ross, what happened was you have this Spartan Ventures, which whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not, universities have to be creative in finding a way to generate revenue to keep up in today's world. It's just, you don't have to like it. It's just the world we live in.
Yep.
And so there is some division within the board of trustees that is not on board with this. And there's been some stuff that's been leaked out from the board of trustees, like private conversations to the media. So they brought a bylaw to vote on to say, hey, it was more of a code of ethics, meaning that what's said in the room stays in the room. And if you're in a person of power and knowingly give information to said reporter, it's a violation of the code of conduct, and you could be like booted off the board. Well, 2 board members refused to vote for it. And so this created some strife. President said, you know what? I'm going to go to Clemson because you know what they care about? There's unity there. You had an AD that goes, I'm just going to go to Kentucky. So now you have Pat Fitzgerald, who's getting ready for his first season, has the AD who's hired him gone. The president hired him gone, probably going, what did I get into?
I mean, those are 2 guys that Pat Fitzgerald's got the reputation. Tom Izzo has the clout. Those 2 guys should be okay, but
look at Tom Izzo's age. He might be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore.
That's true. And if Pat Fitzgerald's no spring chicken.
But he's got a longer runway than Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo, even after they got beat in the NCAA tournament this year, people are like, are you coming back? And he's like, well, what am I going to do? But there's been speculation around him. But you make Izzo mad, that changes the game a little bit. And
I've been trying to write down questions that I want to have for all of I want there to be a couple of questions that I ask each one of the ADs to see how their answers change. This might be a good one. What is an athletic director's relationship or role with a coach? Because I imagine it's way different at the Michigan State Beth Getz, Jamie Pollard level than it is at the Drake, UNI, Grandview level. I'm assuming. Am I wrong there?
No, I think you're wrong a little bit. In meaning that I think it's all the same. Meaning you got to be there to support your coach, to give them the resources, but you better hope that there's a synergy there to where coach also buys into said culture of what the university is.
Okay. You have to have a relationship. You have to have similar. You have to have the personalities.
I think the bigger question is, what is the expected role of the athletic director, who's probably the most visible person on campus besides coaches, running a department that's the most visible within a university? I think athletic departments at major universities, even minor ones, are the most visible. What is that relationship like with your president and your board of trustees? Because there's politics there. And Michigan State's is playing out in front of everybody. And when you have Tom Izzo, the most powerful man maybe at Michigan State,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And he's earned that.
Certainly the face of that university.
100%.
Yeah.
Going,
just like
he's
Kirk
disgusted.
Ferentz.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say Kirk Ferentz is the most popular and probably the most powerful man at the University of Iowa.
Agreed.
But that comes from 27 years of being the head football coach.
Sean, thanks. This is a good one. How are they preparing for the increasing costs of running an athletic department? I like that one. Sean, thanks.
I think you'll find it'll be interesting to see what Megan Franklin says tomorrow and Brian Hardin says today, because you can't compare Northern Iowa and Drake.
It's tough.
It's
all these
apples to
jobs are
oranges.
different.
Yes.
When I would say are probably the most similar. But even that, like their roles, it'll be fun to ask Jamie Pollard about some of this most recent drama. Yeah, what is an athletic director's job? What is
Raise
their role?
money.
What is their role in the president's office? What is their role with the president? What's their relationship like with the president and the coaches?
Because not only are you the most visible, you're probably the most expensive department there is. The law department doesn't have.
Almost has to be, right? With all the travel and the salaries of the coaches and things like that. I mean, at like Stanford, I could see science, one of those. Yeah. I could see the $1 billion being, invested in some sort of research, something like that. But is it the most? See, because I've always had this impression, Travis, that the athletic department didn't have the role in the president's office that we think it does. We're sports fans. And so to us, the athletic department, that's what Iowa is. To me, Iowa has always been the Hawkeyes, not the University of Iowa. It's always been the Hawkeyes. It's the team that plays at Carver Hawkeye Arena. It's the team that plays at Kinnick. There's no Iowa. There's the Iowa Hawkeyes, the sports team. But the president, I've always had this idea, I guess, that the president's office looks at the athletic department almost as a nuisance.
Until it brings you enrollment and brings you notoriety and popularity. But you're also saying that Michigan State's a perfect example. There's levels to this shit, meaning that athletic director answers to the president. Oh, the president answers to the board of trustees, and the board of trustees is divided. Well, that creates you can't let me lead the way I want to lead. And when Tom Izzo goes, he's the best president I've ever worked for, that
means something.
That means something.
And I wonder, Brian is the only one that doesn't have a board of trustees. Oh, he has a board. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it that way. I'm sorry. Iowa State, and you and I are under the board of regents. Okay, but Brian definitely has a board of trustees.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, that slipped out the wrong way. Glad I was able to clarify that.
Somebody's always answering to somebody.
That's who's and we're gonna find out who's in charge of what.
But when you have Tom Izzo go, 600,000 alums need to stand up and take a stand, we're finding out that Tom Izzo might be the one in charge. It's one of those.
He's trying to figure it out.
I can't do it, but 600,000 of you certainly can.
But what's he hope? I'm like, what happened, and what is he hoping for those 600,000 people to do or advocate for? I'm kind of confused about that.
Maybe revolt against the board of trustees and say, you all need to go. We need to get on the same page. There's one thing about a coach can leave, an AD can leave, or president can pay. If you got an entire board of trustees on the same page and you're not on the same page, you go, this probably isn't a good place for me, right? But when you have a board of trustees that is divided, that just makes you're dealing with interwrangling politics that you're like, I'm trying to run a multi-billion-dollar institution here, and I find myself having more success at Clemson than I would at Michigan State. Just drama that is unfolding that is not productive during these times of college sports.
You sent a nice rundown today of a whole bunch of stuff you wanted to talk about. And I know we're going to have Brian Hardin on here in 15, 20 minutes. You have a couple of, I just pulled up the rundown again to see. You've got a couple of the things that we haven't gotten to today, I see. But I've got a fun one for you.
Okay.
So the other day, and I told you about the first part of this. I didn't tell you about the second part because I meant to send you an email yesterday. I apparently didn't hit send. I'm glad I didn't. The other day, Eli's like, Dad, have you heard about this Marlin tournament that happens in North Carolina? They just caught a record Marlin. A 900-pound Marlin was caught in the 68th annual Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament in North Carolina. The payout for the fish is $6.5 million.
Who funds this?
I don't know. I don't know how they get $6.5 million to catch a fish or how a fish is worth.
I have a really dumb question.
Fire away, because I probably don't have the answer.
Oh, but you're a fisherman. You might know this. Do you eat marlin? I mean, I know you eat tuna.
I don't know. I've never seen marlin on a menu.
Okay, I just didn't know if you can eat marlin. If anybody knows if you can eat marlin, let us know.
Trying to look to see what I've got here. We were wondering how long. It said they hooked up with the fish around 11 a.m. and fought it for 2 hours. Guy says it was like a blur. It went by so fast I don't remember any of it. Won $6.5 million. I don't know how they. I don't know how they get paid for that.
What's the like when you're up on Ballards and you're bringing in a big northern? You're fighting for that muskie.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've gone after a fish?
So those fish aren't going to. Muskie will fight you for a while, but in Lake of the Woods, if you were to go up to the normal Ballards, and I say normal Ballard, I mean the one in America in Badette, you're fishing in the same huge, giant 1,000,000-acre lake. But on the American side, it's still close enough to the river that you will catch sturgeon. Sturgeon are the fish that will fight you for literally hours. I've heard stories of guys fighting sturgeon for 45 minutes, an hour.
Now, how big of a fish is a sturgeon? Just help me out.
A sturgeon can be giant. I've been, let's see, Matt Martin caught one that was probably 50 inches. But they get even big. They get huge, and they're dinosaurs, man. They are really old fish. They have like cartilage that look like spines on the outside of them. They're fun fish, but they're huge and they fight like hell. They run your line way out, and then they'll even jump. They're a wild fish. Fun. So that'd be the one to fight there. That was the fun story about fighting a 900-pound marlin for 2 hours.
And I thought 900 pounds was a lot. That's not even the heaviest marlin caught, right?
There's been like 1,200-pound blue marlin that apparently the blue marlin are bigger. But Trav, that wasn't that's the one I told you about. This is the one I didn't. This is from the Panama City News Herald. Registration is now open for Florida's 10-day Python Challenge.
Oh, Jesus.
Professional and novice hunters alike are getting ready to start bagging the invasive species that threatens local wildlife in the Everglades. And they can use guns. Burmese pythons, large, non-venomous constrictor snakes, are native to South Asia, but they were introduced to Florida and they pose a serious threat to wildlife. And so the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has, for the 10th year in a row, I'm sorry. The 13th. Started in 2013. Started the Florida Python Challenge. It's a removal competition held every year. They offer a couple of prizes. It's a 10-day event. You've got to capture the pythons. You can kill them. Should kill them. Don't just capture them, kill them. Within the Florida Wildlife Conservation managed areas in South Florida. Can't just kill one in your backyard and add it to your numbers, okay? The challenge starts at 12:01 on Friday, July 10th, goes through Sunday, July 19th. So you've got time to get down there. You've got time to register. You need to go online. Last year, 294 pythons were killed during the Python Challenge. Most of any since they started the event. There are
294.
294. There are two awards given. One is given, $1,000 award is given for the longest python killed. Last year, the longest Burmese python killed measured 15 feet, 11 inches. Caught by a novice, Michael Morawski. Because again, this is novice or professionals. Professional python killing is an industry down in South Florida. Longest Burmese python killed last year, 15 feet, 11 inches, caught by novice Michael Morawski. He won $1,000. But python hunter Taylor Stanberry, and before you look her up, I'll tell you, she is a cutie. She's got tats on her arms, as you'd expect. I think you'd have to have tattoos to be a Burmese python hunter.
It takes a special breed to be a snake hunter.
Last year in the 10-day window, she took home the ultimate grand prize. First woman to ever win it. When she nabbed 60 pythons in the 10-day challenge, winning her $10,000, Travis.
$10,000. Damn. I suppose they want to shoot said snake instead of cut its head off because that'll affect the length, right? Or do you take the head and like...
Oh, didn't think about that. Yeah. You want it to be as long as possible. That's a good point.
What do you do with dead pythons? Do you put them on the grill?
What do you do with 60? What do you do with 60 dead pythons? What do you do with 259 or whatever the... Bring out
put
your
it
dead.
In the boat? I couldn't do it. I could kill a snake, but I'd see said snake and I'd run like a baby.
Yeah, I don't like snakes. To compete in the Florida Python Challenge, you must read the rules, take the required online training, and then register at flpythonchallenge.org. You got to keep a copy of your registration confirmation email with you at all times. It's like keeping your fishing license. Because then that way they know if you're out there killing pythons, you're doing it for the state.
Is it best to go python hunting at night or during the day?
I don't know.
I'm betting at night.
Tony
says it best.
Yes, exactly. Tony, thank you. This is why I ain't messing with Florida. None.
No way I'm going to the swamp with pythons and alligators.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Florida, water, out.
How do you bait a python? Just kind of hold a rat up or a mouse?
I don't know.
Look up in trees?
I think you got to hunt them. I think you got to go get them. I think they're trying to hide. I don't think they're out in the open. I don't think they come to you.
I smell them. Smell the python.
What about that? I'm with whoever said that about the alligators. No. Give me tornadoes. I'm okay with tornadoes.
Blizzards, tornadoes.
Yep. I'm good with that. There's no
that.
alligators. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Take a firecracker and put it in the python's mouth, and you can get your firecracker at the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Don't you suppose? We should have. Wait, off the air, we should have a couple beers, and we should say, hey, what'd you blow up? Tell us some of the, because that guy. Listen, I'm not saying don't put fireworks in snakes' mouths, and Travis is not saying to put fireworks in the snake's mouths. I'm just wondering, what have you put into?
I keep sending Wade videos of Roman candle wiffle ball. Have you seen that? People playing Roman candle wiffle ball. We're not condoning this. We just like to watch other people's stupid stuff. It is the Rush Freedom Feast giveaway presented by the Iowa Fireworks Farm. You could register to win the grand prize by going to therushradio.com, click on the promo tab, and click Freedom Feast to win the Mob Stars from Iowa Fireworks Farm, valued at $800, a Weber grill from Ace Hardware of Johnston and Ankeny, and a barbecue bundle box from the Des Moines Bacon Company. Register now at therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab. And each and every week up until the 4th of July, we're going to give away a $50 gift certificate to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. All you have to do is email me, Travis, at therushradio.com, or tag us on social media with a patriotic photo of yourself. And I've gotten some good AI ones come in. I've got some original ones come in. But, we want to make you a winner, and you can have a great 4th of July with the Rush Freedom Feast presented by the Iowa Fireworks Farm. We were talking about fishing earlier. Ross wants you to go fishing up in Canada, and he has a unique and really, really good deal for you.
So when we're talking about the sturgeon and the and fishing that 1,000,000 acres of the Lake of the Woods, Ballard's is a resort on the Rainy River in Minnesota, in Baudette. That's where you can go up there, and they have there's almost 100 other guys that'll be fishing there in a huge lodge along the river. That's where Ballard's built their name and huge reputation. About 15 years ago or so, they purchased an island up on the Canadian side of the same lake, and it's called Ballard's Black Island. It's a completely different fishery. Fishing out on the Ballard side, that's in Baudette in Minnesota, you fish in the Big Traverse Bay. You get out in big water where you can't see land in any direction around you. When you're fishing over on the island at Ballard's Black Island, it is like this Canadian fishing adventure that you've dreamt about or read about. It makes you feel like Robinson Crusoe for a week. It is just such a different experience and such a getaway from reality and this. And you can experience it now for an awesome price. And it's $1,200 per person for 4 nights and 3 days of fishing. And it's the full package. You're going to basically take with you your clothes that you want to wear. Make sure you take some rain gear and the alcohol you want to drink. Other than that, they will take care of everything. And you will be blown away by all the things they can control. They're going to knock it out of the park. They will, at some point, hopefully, you'll think they actually planted fish under your boat for you. That's how much fun this is. And it's for everybody. Little kids, grown adults, people that have never fished, expert fishermen. You want to take your wife on some getaway. You want to plan something with your friends. Do this. Call Danielle at 218-634-1996. If you want to see pictures of what I'm talking about, go to blackisland.com. You'll see the Ballard's logo. But the best way to learn about this is just to call Danielle and ask her some questions about the dates that are available and how you can take advantage of the Ross Peterson special up at Ballard's Black Island. $1,200 per person if you call 218-634-1996. Awesome time. Everybody I've gone with, it walks out of there and says, that's a special place. I'm coming back.
Sarah says fireworks in a snake's mouth, also known as get pregnant in Florida. Sarah! I think she meant to write known, also known you get pregnant in Florida, not gown. I want to have a beer with Sarah.
I was trying to think about fishing. I was trying to get catching walleye.
Brian Hardin scheduled to join us. An hour with the AD, a full hour from 7 to 8 with Drake Athletic Director Brian Hardin when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire. A front row tickets to every show-yonaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery, you can change your life for life. Play today.
At Iowa Floor Covering, we believe great floors start with great service. Whether you're looking for a plush carpet, durable LVP, timeless hardwood, stylish laminate, or beautiful tile, including custom tile showers, we'll help you find the perfect fit. No pressure, no pushy sales tactics, just honest guidance from a team that listens. DIY Weekend Warrior, we've got the products and advice to set you up for success. Iowa Floor Covering, floors you'll love from people you can trust.
There are a lot of reasons to want a self-driving mower from Iowa Mobotics.
Being automated gives me more time to do my hobbies.
I travel so much for work that I don't have time to take care of the lawn, but I still care about how it looks.
And I'm just lazy. Gives me time to work in the wood shop instead of spending it on the mower.
It works in my schedule.
And I just really hate doing it.
No matter your reason, with Iowa Mobotics, spend less time mowing, more time living.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and we're kicking off the summer with an all-new, brand-new, from-the-ground-up, redesigned ES350 in stock. Come check it out. And we have some additional June specials, up to $6,000 off on RZ or 0%, and we have 3.75 for 48 months across the board. See your sales consultant for more details. I invite you to stop in and experience amazing, or visit us online at willislexus.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bread, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Try our newly rebranded granola. Specially handmade, our amazing granola makes for a delightful treat. You can order online, purchase at local grocery retailers, or find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday. We look forward to serving.
The following advertisement is for people who like to save money.
Do you or a loved one suffer from chronic overspending, getting less but paying more? Then you may have a case of big HVAC. Now is the time to try Priority One. We set our own prices, which means you pay for what you need, not for anything else. And if you need a heating service or new furnace, now is the time to try Priority One.
Side effects of Priority One include increased happiness, extra peace of mind, and bonus cash for whatever you want. Please use responsibly.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
The Rush, presented by Willis Automotive, is back because apparently Travis and Ross have even more to say.
Trav, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive and Willis Volvo Cars. Huge savings on their two remaining 2025 Volvo EX90s with discounts up to $20,000. And take home the 2026 XC40 for as low as $399 a month. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Leave your comments in the comments section. And you can always call the show at 515-517-2303 and follow us on our social media channels. We have X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Waiting for Brian Hardin to join us. He just texted me, Ross, and he goes, "Hey, I'm coming. My computer literally rebooted just now." It happens at the most inopportune times.
That's okay, because I want to share a funny with you anyway. Okay, we've got a new listener, Audie, out of, we'll just say Milwaukee. Okay. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. We'll just say out of Milwaukee. He says, "Hey, Ross, you're on my shit list. Start listening to your show on the regular, and now I have to hear that catchy-ass Central City commercial. It's stuck in my head all day. I have no idea. I have no idea what Central City is. I'm guessing a liquor store. But man, that's one catchy song. So, Audie, welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
And when you make your trek to Central Iowa, you come to Des Moines, and your first stop should be Central City Liquors. And walk in and go, start spreading the news. It's time to buy booze.
If I wanted to teach people, here's what Des Moines is. Man, Jerry's over on the east side. I feel like that's quintessential Des Moines to me. Grab some wings over by the fairgrounds. Hang out there for a couple of hours. Central City Liquors. You walk into there. You don't have to spend 15 minutes in Central City Liquors, and you go, oh, Des Moines has CEOs and river trash. Look at that. It's a beautiful town with some strange individuals in it.
CEOs and river trash.
You'll see it both in 15 minutes. Where else would be quintessential Des Moines places where you would take some? I think Fong's is that way. Fong's is one of those places it's unique.
Would you go anywhere out west?
You don't cross the river. What are you talking about? No, I'm joking. I live west of the river. I shouldn't say. I'm joking. There's There's got to be some places out there. Yeah, of course. Anyway.
Take them to the fairgrounds.
I didn't say go to the fairgrounds necessarily. I think I'm going to miss the fair food event this year.
Really?
I need to reach out to Mindy and tell her if that's the case.
Hey, did you see at Adventureland the tornado got stuck the other day and people had to walk
Dude,
down?
Talk about nightmare fuel. I've been there before when the one that's called the Storm Chaser, the great big tall one that goes up and spins around. Oh, dude, nightmare fuel to be going up that thing and have it get stuck, and then you got to walk down it. I'd never ride the thing again. In fact, I think I'm probably done with my amusement park days.
Really?
Yeah, man. The last couple times I've gone, like the
now, did you get the season passes this year to carry on your mom's tradition?
No, I didn't. Because we didn't use them last year. It was a waste of money. So I didn't get them this year. And last year a couple times I got like the spins. I'd go to the Tilt-A-Whirl and I'd get off of that and I'd be like, I don't think I can do any more rides today.
I just can't imagine being on the tornado, which is looking older and older every time I see it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to get on that thing. And then people walking down because they got stuck.
That thing, and it every time I've ridden it in the last probably 10 years, I have a nightmare that it's just going to go launching into Outlaw Gulch. That's where the like Western themed area in the back is
This is how we're going to die.
This is it. That's all right though, because you're protected by this. We shouldn't make jokes because people have died at it.
Yes.
But man, nightmare fuel.
And there's somebody who goes, hey, let me know when it's fixed so we can get back on. I wouldn't be doing that. As we wait for Brian Hardin to have his computer reboot, and we spend 50 minutes with the AD. Pete Crow Armstrong hit for the cycle yesterday, Ross. He's the first player in Major Leagues this year to hit for the cycle. He actually did a reverse cycle. He hit the home run, the triple, the double, then the single. I
didn't know that he did it in backwards order. Cool. Okay. All right.
Talking about the cycle, I mean, obviously very hard to do. Does this number surprise you? Only the 13th Cub in history to do it.
Wow. Do you by chance know the other names?
He's the first or the youngest. I don't know all the other names.
This could be fun.
He's the youngest since Randy Hundley in 1966.
Randy Hundley?
Yes.
Randy Hundley. Is that Todd Hundley's dad?
I have no idea.
Oh, we're going to find that out too. See, this is the thing. These are the things I want to know now. 13 Cubs have hit for the cycle. Randy Hundley was not one I would have. All right. Jimmy Ryan did it a couple times back in the 1800s. Hack Wilson's a Hall of Famer. Roy Smalley did it in 1950. His son also played Major League Baseball. What was Roy Smalley's? Was it Roy Smalley Jr.? Billy Williams, Hall of Famer. Randy Hundley, 1966. Ivan De Jesus. How about that one? April, remember him? Ivan De Jesus?
Yeah.
He was a part of the Ryan Sandberg trade, I think. He went to, they shipped him off to, I think he was the guy that they shipped off to Philly to get Ryan Sandberg. Andre Dawson with a cycle in 1987. Mark Grace hit for the cycle in 1993. Mark Grace hit a triple.
That had to be.
Grace
what if he did
hit
a
triple. Huh. Friendly scoring. Mark Grace had a hit for the cycle. And then the last Cub to do it was in 2025, Carson Kelly. So there you go. See, that's fun. Those are some fun names in there. How about that? Roy Smalley and Randy Hundley. Is that Todd Hundley's dad?
That's what you have Google for. You have the computer at your fingertips.
We're discovering. Randy Hundley and Todd Hundley are a father-son duo who played Major League Baseball as catchers, notably for the Chicago Cubs. Randy was a standout defensive catcher. There you go. Look at that. Runs in the family.
All right, we promised an hour with the AD. We're going to go 50 minutes with the AD. He had a complete Windows 11 update.
He's given us so much other time.
He has.
We've done several hours with Brian if you were to add it up together. So don't let him give you a hard time, because this is what he's going to do now.
I'm sorry. I'm happy to come on for the first 10 minutes of tomorrow's show.
Yeah, exactly.
To make up for it. So I literally, I'm on my wife's computer right now, because my computer, I've got like this restore button. That's like, everything is like shut down. They're giving me the option to restore from Time Machine or reinstall Mac OS Tahoe. I'm like, well, I'm not touching that. I'm going to call our IT department. That's when they open, and like, tell me which button to push. So then trying to figure out how to get Kara's computer fired up. Should I just do it on my phone? I'm like, well, shoot, do I really want to hold this thing up there for 50 minutes? I'm like, my shoulders are going to fall apart. So I'm so sorry.
Brian, yesterday,
I'm sure your viewers have plummeted because I have
Brian, listen, yesterday, Travis's camera failed slowly from bottom to top. He had to unplug it and reset it at the top of the hour. We've all been there. And this leads right into one of our discussions of like, we all find out what we're really in charge of at some point, don't we? When you're like, the internet doesn't work. I'm no longer an athletic director. I'm now a doorstop.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Technology is great, especially when you need it the most. It's like, oh God, how do I get out of this jam? It's so apologies for the delay.
You're fine. You're fine. Totally fine. You've given us so much time over the years. We appreciate all of that. And thanks for giving us time this morning. Appreciate that as well. I like the jersey. Or the colors of the shirt here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Is that one of the things? Can we just jump right in, Trav? Are you good with us getting in here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that one of the things? I mean, did you play a part in bringing that back? That when we were growing up, that was gone. That baby blue, kind of that retro feel. Were you a part of bringing all that back?
That was early on. It was probably my first year or so, trying to figure out. So we got to find some things to kind of shake things up around here. We got to, we're going to maybe stop just short of grabbing folks by the shoulders and kind of shaking them and letting them know that we're around. But we needed to find some ways just to kind of get back on folks' radar. And we take so much pride in the 1969 Final Four team, and those uniforms are sweet. And so it's like, well, gosh, that seems like an easy thing to do. We'd seen a lot of other schools create some type of a alternate jersey, and a lot of schools were going with like a black jersey, or they're going with some other color. And to me, it's like, well, black's not one of our school colors, so we weren't going to go there. And I don't mean this isn't like a shot at Iowa State or anything, believe me, but so it's just like, I feel like we needed to tap into our roots, and there was something there. And a lot of our donor base, I mean, they live through, they're at a time of their life where they live through the glory years of Drake basketball. And so how do we find a way to tap into that, while also understanding that the odds are those are going to be pretty cool to the young kids as well. And so we're going to be able to kill two birds with one stone by maybe appeasing, a segment of our population that remembers when Drake was a top 10 team, as well as trying to, how do we become cool again to that next generation, to the youngest generation, so that they want to put Drake, kind of on their radar.
So, I know you use analytics for everything, because everybody uses analytics now. When you launched those uniforms and brought the baby blue back, and probably even still today, how much more revenue does the baby blue bring in as opposed to just normal gear? I mean, because I know you can track that. Is baby blue and I don't know if it's baby blue or sky blue or whatever the technical blue is. Is that your number one seller?
Yeah, we don't have a specific name for the shade of light blue. It's certainly not Carolina blue. We wouldn't go there. When I was at Marquette, we introduced a light blue uniform that we call championship blue, because that's what their team, when they won the title in 77, wore something like that. But I couldn't just blatantly rip that off and bring here. So we don't have a name for it. But yeah, there's I would say what we've seen from our licensing sales over the years has just really taken off. I mean, I can go find the numbers at some point here, but from 2018, what we're doing licensing to like after, we haven't got updated numbers for this year, but last year at the end of like our 30-win basketball season, I mean, we were doing significantly more. You know, we're talking, you know, we're like 10 times more in licensing revenue than what we were doing in our first year here. And I think a lot of it kind of got the ball rolling with going to the light blue Drake script. Like, so our vintage Drake uniform really kind of took off. And I think some of it, though, honestly, is we have to be careful that we don't skew too far into it. So now we put some parameters around how can we use the Drake script, because we've seen some where it's like in a light blue version and it goes onto a black shirt. Well, the problem there is that when you put like the light blue onto the black shirt, it makes the light blue look more purple, which we don't want to look purple at Drake. I mean, there's already a school in our state that owns purple. And so we're not going to go there. And so we actually are trying to refine that and say, okay, you can only use the light blue, like the white script on the light blue, or if you're going to use light blue, script needs to be on white or on like a lighter shade of gray. Just trying to refine that. The next generation of it, though, is what we started maybe a year or so back, is bringing back the Marching Spike logo. And so that was a really popular logo in like the 80s, you know, and so it's essentially it's like a mirror image of the Bucky Badger logo. If you look closely at the two, like you're
gonna get you're gonna get sued now.
No, it's a Bucky Badger. There's one from North Carolina. You could tell like maybe there's a similar designer who made these, decades ago.
It's like fight songs. They're all kind of the same.
So we're bringing that
Philip
back.
Sousa.
Yeah, that's right. 76 trombones of the big parade, and so we're gonna have the kind of that era. But I think we'll look into exploring kind of the Marching Spike. That's really popular with some of our teams. They've been wanting to bring that back. It has not made it onto jerseys yet, but and it's not going to make it onto jerseys this year. Just so I'm not like teasing something that's going to happen here in this next year, because those jersey orders are made months in advance, and that's not happening for this next calendar year. But I think trying to find some ways to always have something new and fresh that connects with our history is a good thing.
Well, you brought up revenue coming from licensing. So when we compare universities and try to give people an idea of where revenue comes from Drake, where in your revenue streams, I'm assuming university support, donor support, ticket sales, where does licensing money fall in your revenue stream? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it?
Yeah, it's down there. We're talking about like licensing revenues in the hundreds of thousands, whereas donor support is in the millions of dollars. And so, I mean, it would be beneath what we do from a Bulldog Club and or giving money to Excellence Fund. So individual philanthropy, what Drake Sports Properties is able to create for us, ticket sales certainly is up there. University support is up there. But I mean, it's going to be, it's not going to be in the top 5.
Okay. What is that relationship like with when you talk about university support being in the up there? What's that relationship like with a president and an athletic director?
Oh, I would say to describe it as we can have competing interests. I mean, it is one of the differences between working in pro sports and working in college sports. So I talk to students who are trying to get into sports, and they say, I ask, well, which one do you want? And having worked in the NFL for 3 years when I was at the Bears, and now having worked in college athletics, I made the choice to go into college athletics because there were certain aspects of college sports that I really liked more about that experience of what I had in the NFL. although here we are 20 years later, and some of our sports are kind of moving into that professional sports era, which we can get into later here. But one of what I tell folks is one of the things that I really liked about working in the NFL was that everybody was always rowing the same direction. And because like everybody in the whole organization, it's like we have one goal in mind. How do you win the Super Bowl? And so like everything you do is about, okay, we're doing all we can to put this team in position to be successful, because there's only one team and there's only one goal. Well, within our athletics department, we've got 18 sports. And so what may be good for football may not be good for cross country and vice versa. And so there's some competing interest there. But even within our athletics department, athletics is only one unit of campus. So, at Drake, if our budget is $130 million as an institution, and if we're spending $15 million within athletics, it's like, okay, well, that's a little more than 10% of the overall university, what we're spending in the budget in a year. And so to answer your question, it would be great for us to be able to receive additional dollars to be able to put towards, our efforts in athletics. But university presidents have to look at it. Okay, well, that's just one piece here of the enterprise. And if I go really heavy into that space, it's going to come to the detriment of something else. And are we willing to do that? And so there's going to always be a give and take with that aspect of the relationship. And it's something that, Marty and I have a great working relationship. I certainly don't get everything that I want, and I'm sure in his eyes I probably don't give everything that he's looking for as well. So that's kind of the unique piece there, where we fund, they help us to a significant tune, but it's like from a percentage basis. 2/3 of what we're generating is that we're spending is coming from dollars that we generate.
What's the biggest challenge you face now as an athletic director? And do you try to keep up the best you can, or do you say, this is who we are, this is how we're going to compete, and we're not going to try to veer? Or is it like, hey, let's go all in and make a huge push to be the dominant one in the Valley or a university your size? How do you look at today's landscape?
Yeah, it's tough. It's something that we kind of go back and forth on. We can't ever lose sight of who we are. I think that, and for Drake, that is someone who is not going to bend on what we are academically. We're not going to bend on what we need to be in our community. I think we're going to look for those opportunities and those moments to really thrive athletically. I think it's hard for us to say that, yes, all 18 sports we want. We think that we can realistically compete for championships across the board. Like I'd love to be able to say that's the case, but it's not. We don't fund certain sports the same way that other schools in our league do it. I think I came in here with just an understanding that we need to know kind of what stirs our drink here right now, and it's basketballs and it's Drake relays. We've got to make sure that those are really big economic drivers for us, and really big for us is a relative term, because what we are able to generate from there is not what other schools can generate, but yet those other schools are the ones that we'll see in national tournaments.
Yeah.
And so I think that we want to be able to compete in as many of the sports that we can. We know that there's a baseline that we need to be able to provide for our sports. So we'll talk in terms of, there are certain sports that we think can compete on a national level. There are certain sports we think can compete on a regional level, maybe some that we aspire to compete for a conference championship level. And then there's going to be others that we just have to make sure that we are providing some baseline type of experience for them. And we don't get into tiering conversations with coaches and everything per se, but it's in terms of like who fits where. But they're, in my mind, I've got a pretty good idea of where certain sports need to be. And so and then as things evolve, then you'll see teams maybe move up or move down based off of external forces that cause us to reevaluate, kind of just given the time that we find ourselves in.
So I guess along that line, Brian, then how How do you and your bosses judge success as an athletic director as a whole?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is around one, how are we? I think that there's gonna be a budget component to it. I mean,
Okay.
I remember when I first got to Drake, I was given 3 goals by Marty Hardin. So this is back in 2018, and the 3 goals in no particular order were to establish to improve the level of professionalism within the department. That we need to kind of start to just do things a little bit differently. We need to be how our game presentations were, how we were in the community. We needed to be present in that space.
Wow,
so that was
okay.
kind of grouped into one piece. Number 2 was to, and this was literally said, it was to keep Jenny Bronchek. And so that was a very clearly stated goal in 2018. And I guess I did well for a couple of years. And then number 3 was to get our arms wrapped around the budget. That there had been some challenges with the budget in terms of how it was being built. I guess they were traditionally establishing the budget. The practice was to identify what athletics wanted to spend, and then create a revenue projection that would balance. But then inevitably what happened is you get to April and the revenue projections were not based in reality, and the expenses were. So all of a sudden you get a gap there, and you're going into the last quarter of a fiscal year, and you've got this gap to make up, and it wasn't happening. And so we had to completely change how we budgeted items and have some tough conversations and say, listen, we need to build accurate revenue projections. We can't there's times that they were building revenue men's basketball season ticket projections where they were expecting to increase season ticket sales by 40%, and they were coming off a year that they lost 20 games. They're like, well, shoot, that's not going to happen. But yet that allowed them to establish what the expenses were, because hey, here's what we want to spend. Well, in order to spend that, you got to be able to have revenues that offset it. So then they just kind of would create these fictitious revenue lines. So we completely scrapped that and said, well, we're going to start by what we think we can actually generate in revenue, and then we're going to have to adjust our expenses to kind of come close to matching that. And so we did that. So those are the 3 things that when I was initially, because I asked that same question, Ross, of, all right, Marty, in this first year, success is what to you? And those are the 3 things given to me back in December of 2017, January 2018.
Yeah.
Now it's changed a little bit.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what one of the questions Travis is asking there as well. Like those changes that happen, you've been here for a really interesting time where the job of an athletic director has changed drastically. And
it has. I mean, it's I've said for the longest time that the 3 most important aspects of my job are to hire and retain the right head coaches, to build and maintain the proper culture, and to fundraise. And those are probably still 3 of the most important jobs. It's just that the fundraise component looks different than it did before. Like the fundraise component, which was primarily individual philanthropy, now we start to see there's a corporate side to it too. And so working with our Learfield team, with Greg Ellis and his team with Drake Sports Properties, bringing on Ryan Grant to kind of to try to and his Corner 3 team to try to find ways to go after jersey patches, naming rights to venues. Drake Relays put in sponsorships. So there's that piece there, like that number, what we're doing on that corporate sponsorship side, like we'd love to double that number here over the next year or 2 to be able to kind of offset some of the other expenses that we now that are now hitting our bottom line.
Brian, we got to take a quick break. I hope you're okay with that. It's about a 4-minute break. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Had you joined us on time, we wouldn't do this. I'm joking.
Yeah. We do got to pay the bills. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Game on? Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-millionaire. Front row tickets to every show-millionaire. Hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you could change your life for life. Play today.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines, and this summer we already have some hot offers. It is convertible season, and right now you can get a Mini Cooper S convertible with rates as low as 2.99 out to 48 months. If you're hoping for more family fun in the sun, you can get an all-new Mini Countryman with rates as low as 0.9 out to 48 months. And current Mini owners, you get up to $2,000, and if you haven't had a Mini yet, you can get up to $1,500 on top of that great rate. For more information on these exciting offers and more, visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor or us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
So I think what's unique about Urology Center of Iowa is that we are a truly independent, single specialty clinic.
We have a mantra that the patient comes first, the group comes second, and we as individual surgeons come last.
When I meet with a patient for the first time, I want them to feel heard. I never want them to feel like I'm in a rush.
Just watching the change that you can make in a patient's life, it's everything.
Schedule an appointment at iowauro.com.
Fresh, wild walleyes. This summer, point your compass north to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Ballard's Lake of the Woods long-standing family resort offers a pole-in-hand guided fishing experience along with all-inclusive packages that include lodging and meals. Chase 10-pound trophies with the walleye capital of the world's most established fleet. Your adventure for fresh, wild walleyes awaits at Ballard's Resort. Set the hook at ballardsresort.com.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiskus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Looking for a new car that fits your lifestyle and your budget? Willis Nissan has you covered. The affordable and fuel-efficient Nissan Kicks to the spacious and high-tech Nissan Rogue. Willis Nissan has the vehicle you need for your weekday commute, summer road trips, and everything in between. And right now at Willis Nissan, you can take advantage of 0% APR financing on select new Nissan models. Don't wait. Get the best deal on the perfect Nissan at Willis Nissan. Stop into our showroom today or check us out online at willisnissan.com.
The Rush, presented by Willis Automotive, returns now with fresh sports takes and at least one unnecessary rant.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, it's the weekly woohoo from the Iowa Lottery. Your chance to win a $90 prize pack from the Iowa Lottery. And if you're not a VIP club member, sign up for free at ialottery.com/VIP. Continuing our hour with the AD, today's guest is Brian Hardin, the athletic director at Drake University. And Brian, we were talking about revenue earlier. Would you ever bring in private equity to your athletic department?
The details would matter a lot. I mean, is it private equity? Is it private capital? So I think it's the details in terms of what exactly are they asking for in return. So I wouldn't say never, wouldn't rule it out, but I would need to. The devil's going to be in the details. So what are they wanting in exchange? Is there what's the interest rate that's going to be associated with it? Is there what type of control is going to be? Is it so what type of what strings are going to be attached to the significant amount of dollars that would be coming to the department?
Yeah. What would be your plans? This came from one of our listeners. As you prepare for these increasing costs, man, you start to look at how things have escalated these last couple of years. It's hard to extrapolate out if that's going to continue, at what rate that continues, as you're talking about budgeting and stuff. What do you do to prepare for those increasing costs?
Yeah, we've got to find other ways to generate. I mean, the word unsustainable has been used now for multiple years, but yet people still keep finding ways to fund
to sustain.
To sustain themselves. And I think that as long as there are coaches feeling pressure going into towards the end of a contract, as long as there are desperate fan bases who are wanting to be relevant or wanting to regain national notoriety, there will be individuals connected to those schools who will be willing to overspend and will essentially be resetting the market each year and forcing everybody else to have to do more to try to keep up with others in that space. So we're our own worst enemy here. I mean, I've talked to folks about this. I mean, why are we spending this much on student athletes here? The return on the investment can't be that great, but yet we continue to do it because we're trying to find ways to pursue, championships. And so, or to, in some cases, coaches to keep their jobs. So how do we go about doing that? And it's going to have to be just trying to find ways to, tap into new revenue sources. And so that's why, we months ago brought Ryan Grant on board to try to find ways to kind of help us in that space. Like I mentioned before, we need to try to probably double what we're doing on that, the corporate side, because we can't keep taxing our best people, our best fans in this space. We've got to be able to get back to where fans want, like our fan base doesn't love this, the rev share, NIL, whatever you want to call it. They love having Drake basketball play in meaningful games in March. And so they understand that for that to occur, we're going to have to be involved in this area to some degree. But there's a limit to what folks will want to commit, how often they can commit resources. So we need to go out and actually what we're doing is creating an expense line in our budget for this. And then we have to go out there and try to find the revenue to offset it, going back to one of our earlier conversations.
So you're part of the House agreement, and you don't have to tell us the answer here, but I'm going to ask just so we can put it in relative terms. And you don't have to single out a sport, but like NIL at Drake, how much money is in the fund? Is it 200,000? Is it 500,000? Is it $1 million? Do you control the NIL budget? Meaning you say, hey, Coach Hendo, you have here's 250,000 you got for the year. How does NIL work at Drake? Because it's different at every institution.
It is. Yep. So at Drake, I will talk. We do like the institutional rev share, if you will. We do that for both of our basketball programs. We can't do it for football. That's a Pioneer Football League rule that we cannot share, those dollars with football. If our young men on our football team want to go out and cut their own deal, they want to do something with DOCO, they're in town, they can go out and they can do that. But we can't. We're not supposed to be helping to facilitate that too much, and we can't be just giving dollars to them. So that takes a huge, number of athletes off the plate. So we focus solely on both basketballs. And then from that standpoint, how do we determine the dollars? Well, I'll go to both Allison and Eric and say, all right, what are you hearing in terms of kind of the direction that things are going for this next off season? And I'll compare it to what I'm hearing from people that I'm talking to, and then we'll come together and we'll identify what a proper number is. And so like this past year, Eric and I'll use Eric as an example here. That's the bigger number. Just trying to figure, okay, here's what we spent for this past year. What are you hearing? Okay, well, we think it's going to go up. Well, what do we think? How much is it? What percentage are we hearing? And so then we use that and are able to kind of be able to get to a number that I think that we can raise. That is what he wants to do. And so we had, honestly, we had conversations about, he threw a number out there, and the number was higher than what I thought we could get to. But then I talked to friends of mine, and I lean on some folks that are successful business leaders that have some type of a connection to Drake. And I talked to one of them, and he said, Brian, he goes, I think you got to do all you can to get to that number. And I said, he goes, when I was in charge of my business here in town, I said, I really felt that one of the roles that I had as a leader was to eliminate the excuses that could prevent poor performance. And he said, if somebody's asking for something and you don't deliver fully what they're asking for, you've now built in something here that says, gosh, if only we had done this, what could have done. But if you can provide something for them, then you can more fairly maybe evaluate kind of what's going on here. And so we all right. So we went ahead and went towards that. We're able to kind of and get to what Hendo wanted for this year. And then we have to go out there and go find it. And so that's kind of where things are at. And we're well on our way. We're at a spot that, we've got a couple more gifts that we need to close for us to get to that spot. But that's generally how we do it here, because we're not carving money out of a TV deal to get this done.
Yeah.
We're not, we don't have like an endowment set up where we can just kind of pull everything in from that. We're not going to the school saying this is what it is. And there are some places that are doing that. That's not how we're doing it. Everything that we're doing in this area is being generated, by the athletics department.
All right, man, time's going to fly. Can we get another hour with you? No, I'm kidding. Remember,
Yeah.
I want to go back. You said something earlier about choosing to get back into the college game rather than the pro model. And I saw your wheels kind of turn. You just said that like, oh man, now we're so close to that model anyway. What was it at that time that made you decide to get back into college and leave the pro model?
I really like the relationships with the athletes in the college level more than the pro level. And there were some really great folks that, like my colleagues at the Bears were awesome, and most of the players, but it's just a different dynamic, that those were grown men and that was their job, and they were going in there and they were doing their job and they were getting out. And, part of it probably was where I was on the totem pole. I mean, I was 23 to 26 years old during my 3 years there, working in the Bears PR department, which wasn't always the most favorite department that the players loved. Go with them, say, hey, I need you to go talk to this reporter from the Chicago Tribune or whatever. Like that wasn't the highlight of their day. And so I recognize that. But also it's just different, like when you see them come in as rookies, so like one of the years there, I was assigned to be the primary rep for Kyle Orton, Southeast Polk's finest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin Hester. And so I'd work with them and handle all their media requests. And how they were as rookies is kind of similar to what we see in our college. They were very impressionable, and they would listen to you. And then as they get older, they have things figured out. And so they thought. And so now you're working with them, and it just became more of a challenge. Whereas in college, working with the athletes, I mean, to see the growth from an 18-year-old to a 22 or 23-year-old, I mean, it's pretty incredible to be able to do that. I just sat down with some athletes during our senior exit interviews and to kind of talk through just the observations I made of them in their time here. That was really rewarding. So that's what kind of drove me to get back into college.
Kind of a non-traditional maybe way to athletic director. You started in sports information and that's basically working with the media. That's probably why you're media friendly. Was the goal always to be an athletic director, or did you want to be Mike Mahon?
Yeah, well, let's not do that.
Sorry, Mike.
How do I answer that? Folks who know Mike probably understand why I'm holding my tongue right now. No, Mike is amazing. We could not do the direct relays without Mike Mahon. I would say it's somewhere in between the two. I would say I did not have any aspirations of being an athletic director. It was not on my radar. I thought I had a boss at Notre Dame named John Heisler, and so John Heisler was the senior associate athletic director overseeing the communications team. He did some football scheduling. I mean, he's a legend in the industry, and so he is who I thought that I was going to be. When I got the job at Notre Dame as like the head of communications for the football team, I thought my career path was going to lead to being some type of senior associate athletic director overseeing communications and marketing. Like I thought it was going to be, Nick Juice up at Iowa State. Like I thought that was where I thought it was trending towards. And honestly, it was going there. I left Notre Dame to bet on myself to become an administrator. So I went from being a specialist to a generalist when I left Notre Dame to go to Ball State and oversee their communications, marketing, ticket sales, and the corporate sales operations as deputy athletic director there. And I thought that that's what it was going to be. And I may be able to move on to a bigger school in a similar type capacity. But then my boss left 18 months later, and I was asked to serve as an interim athletic director. And that's where I got my first bite of the apple. And kind of that's what set me off down this path instead.
It's like a drug. You're like, oh, okay, I like this. I like
I
this.
became power hungry. You know, I want everybody looking at me for the answers. No, it was that was hard. I mean, to go from making suggestions to making decisions like that, that's tough. And you see it with assistant coaches sliding over into being a head coach like that. You use those 18 inches, you slide over on the bench, man. And it's like now everyone's looking at you like that. That's different. And then that took some time. It still takes some time to kind of get used to it. But it was. I like being a part of, honestly, what it was is being part of the larger university conversations, being part of a president's council and reporting directly to the president, being on the same level as other vice presidents of the university who are overseeing advancement or admissions or general counsel or student affairs, and be able to kind of hear kind of what they're doing, but then also try to advocate for athletics and how that could fit into the overall atmosphere within a campus environment.
We have a listener, Tyler. He's actually a huge UNI fan, but he's a big Missouri Valley fan.
Yeah.
And he asked a little while back if we could ask you, what do you think the Valley looks like in 5 years?
That's a great question. I think the Valley looks very similar to the way it does right now. I think that I just think the Valley is a really stable league, and barring too many changes, I'll be curious. Like I'll say this: there's 11 members in the Valley, and I would think 5 years from now, almost all of those 11 will still be in place. Now, I don't think that there'll be 11 members in the Valley in 5 years. I don't know what that number will be. I don't know if it'll be 12 or 14 or 16 or something crazier than that. But I'd be surprised if the Valley is 11 teams in 5 years. I would not be surprised if the 11 teams that are in the Valley are still in the Valley in 5 years.
So you're talking about expansion. I was with an athletic director last night who wants to be in the Valley. So it.
Hey, I wonder who that is.
Adrian Dow from
Travis Memphis, who it was.
Yeah, but I mean, and you and I have had this conversation in that Omaha, whether you like Omaha or not, in history, Omaha is one of the biggest supporters of the Missouri Valley Conference, right?
Huge Valley town. Yeah.
Huge Valley town. And I think Drake would be people here remember the Creighton-Drake showdowns and those. And I think if I'm the commissioner of the Valley, I get why you hesitate a little bit, but I think with the population base and the fandom for the Valley, I think it would be a good addition. But what do I know? What do I?
Yeah, no, I've been on the record with in meetings and everything. I was with Adrian last week in Las Vegas for a conference, and we talked about it. We just partnered together and trying to figure out where we're going to try to move our men's tennis programs to. And so I agree. I think it's great. I think that what they're doing over there, there's a ton of money there. Omaha has more billionaires per capita than any town in the country. I think Adrian, from his time at Creighton, is doing a masterful job of getting people energized around there. The investments going into that program. I think it's a program on the rise. A lot of it is there's great value in the two towns being connected. And as I think that there's going to have to come a time that we're going to have to evaluate expansion, not solely based off of who's going to help us sell more tickets to Arch Madness or get another bid into the tournament, but also who can help limit expenses. And the travel piece is one of our largest buckets. Outside of personnel, travel is going to be right up there towards the top. And so selfishly for our league, which has moved to the southeast with some of its recent additions, to find something more in that northwest quadrant of our footprint would be beneficial for Northern Iowa and for Drake.
So, and I know Kansas City and Mark Turgeon probably went in too, but we haven't talked to you since the expansion of the NCAA tournament. I think a lot of people thought, well, this is going to help teams in the Valley. We don't think so. Do you think the expansion helps Valley get a 2-bid league now?
Every so often, yeah, I think so. I think every once every 2-3 years, I could see it doing it. And now we've got to do our part. I'm not as concerned with like the expansion piece. I think the evaluation piece is the one that needs to be reviewed.
Yeah.
I think because as long as we keep utilizing the tools in place to evaluate teams, then we're also going to be encouraging schools to continue to schedule the way they are. I mean, the schools are only scheduling. Iowa and Iowa State won't play us because it's a product of the system that's in place. It's not necessarily their fault. I mean, I can throw shade if I want at the people at those two schools, but they're just reacting to kind of what they've learned from history, which is bigger schools. They benefit by establishing a non-conference schedule where you play 5-6 really good teams, 7 good teams, from Power 4 leagues that are going to be quad 1, quad 2 type games, and then you beat up on 5 or 6 really bad teams.
Right.
And we fit somewhere in the middle there. It's actually
danger zone.
We're closer to the really good side because our average net score over the past 6 years has been around like 54 or something. So we're on that side, but it's not enough to take off another power conference school, and we're clearly not in the bottom 50 schools that they're trying to schedule just to spike their efficiency numbers. So until we can get that, like the evaluation piece changed, then to me, like the expansion doesn't really matter. I do think it will help us. We'll get some teams in over time. If you look at the recent history, we would have had another team or two in over the last 5 years. So I think we will every so often. I think you'll see mid-majors from the Atlantic 10 and the Mountain West or the Pac-12 be able to get in. So it'll help us a little bit. But again, I've been trying to bang the drum on. We need to evaluate just kind of how the net is put together. WAB, wins against bubble is like the new term now. But
I hadn't heard this one.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's the latest one. That's the one that the committee uses a lot. And if you look at WAB, it correlates pretty closely to how they see the teams. But again, WAB is a metric that is based off of net as well, off of how many times with team 45 win a game. Now it'll become team 53 in this next one. But so it's like, okay, we've got to refine that tool. To me, it's still a problem that the formula for net has never been publicly shared, and there's an issue with that. And so we've got to get that formula fixed, so then we can just incentivize schools to go back to doing home and homes with schools like us. It's still a shame that our 4 Division I schools are not playing on an annual basis.
Can I ask some corny questions, Trav?
Go for it. I'll try to be fast. It's a lightning round here.
What's been your best moment as athletic director?
Oh, I could say a couple things. I should say something like, seeing the kids walk across the stage at graduation, when and that's
no. Give us the real answer.
And that's awesome. I would say last year the Friday in Wichita after we beat Missouri, and just walking around town and just seeing Drake fans still there, and we were all just walking on cloud 9, like, oh my gosh, we're going to the second round here, like that. That was pretty sweet.
I remember seeing you down in Wichita and seeing and feeling that. Yeah. I remember running into you and thinking, man, he seems like he's on cloud 9. That's cool. That's cool. That's one of the moments.
Yeah, that really sticks out.
All right. What about this? What was your most fun moment as an athlete?
Ooh.
Most fun moment as an athlete. I always look, Pollyanna answer. I always look back to Drake relays. Not so much for the meet. Like the meet, I love the meet, but having grown up here and I was able to bring teammates who did not know about the Drake relays at all. My parents would host a spaghetti dinner on the Thursday night before Drake relays at our house in Windsor Heights. And so we'd bring the whole team over there, bring the bus over, and so we'd have a dinner there. That was always really special. My proudest moment athletically, my sophomore year, I ran my 2 fastest times of my college. Ran a 47 in the open 400, split 46.5, which were the 2 best times that I ran. My sophomore year, I didn't get any faster because I made some choices as a junior and senior. When I moved off campus with my roommates, I probably decided to have too good of a time. That maybe
mostly found tasty tacos, something like that. Was that the decisions?
Something like that. It definitely was what I was putting into my body. It wasn't probably that I wasn't ingesting the premium fuel anymore. So it was probably more corn-based fuel, if you guess my drift. So, but it was. So I would say we ran down to Tulane for our conference meet in New Orleans, and that was a really cool experience because I accomplished something athletically that I didn't think that this slow white kid from Des Moines, Iowa, could ever be able to do.
So I've got a serious question.
So slow.
Okay.
And it's 2 parts. If the NCAA all of a sudden said, hey, you don't have to have a minimum of sports, would everything go club except basketball and maybe track? And on that, if you could add 1 sport, what would it be?
All right. So if the club piece. So yeah, the minimum sport component would be interesting. I've not given much thought to what we do in that space. We know what we would need to keep and we need to fully continue to invest in. But yeah, I don't know what that would look like. The question really kind of then comes to how many sports would we use as part of our enrollment management strategy? What do we need to continue to do to try to drive enrollment there? So that would probably be a conversation that we would have with campus to try to figure out what that will look like. What's the benefit then back to campus? And so that's an interesting one. So I don't know. I'll have to give that some more thought. If we were to add a sport, I know what I should say for being in Iowa, but the challenges with adding wrestling are just that we don't have the locker rooms, don't have the practice space. There's so many other pieces to it. The easiest one to add and the easiest, is going to be something like flag football. It's going to be something like stunt, where there are already facilities in place where it's just, and they don't require a ton. Like triathlon would be another easier one to add.
Oh, wow. That's its own. That's its own.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we kicked the tires on that a few years ago. But I get the wrestling piece. I get that question more than anything else about sports each year. And we should, given the space we live in and kind of what Iowa and Iowa State are doing in that area. Yeah. So, but it's, we had our golf outing yesterday that Zach Johnson was at, and I had somebody been in my ear about adding lacrosse because lacrosse is exploding in markets that Drake typically historically has gone into to try to recruit kids. I'd say, however, though, Drake is changing. And for the history of Drake, it's been dominated by students who come in from out of state. That historical average is 70% of Drake students come from out of state. This year will mark maybe the first time in Drake history that we'll have consecutive freshman classes that have been majority Iowans. And so we've completely shifted. And so with that in mind, like lacrosse just isn't big here. I love lacrosse. I had a brother-in-law who played lacrosse at Colgate. I think lacrosse is a really exciting sport to watch in person. It just doesn't have much traction here. And so we'd have to build a strategy around, if we were to add a sport, what is a sport that we can add that we're able to recruit from our own backyard?
Brian, this has been so much fun. Thank you. We always enjoyed your candor with us. It's always a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'm sorry for being 10 minutes late. I'll make it up. If you guys want to stay on for 10 more minutes, we can just have a 3-person conversation.
All right, Brian, have a great day. We appreciate the time, and we'll catch up soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Brian Hardin with our first hour with the AD conversation. Tomorrow, Megan Franklin from Northern Iowa going to be joining us from 7 o'clock to 8. Lots of good stuff right there. So go back, re-listen to it, and gosh, so much to
that was good.
Consider.
Appreciate you setting that up, Travis. Great idea. That was awesome. He even gave me some stuff to ask the other athletic directors that I thought was really good insight. So that was wonderful.
It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiskus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Here at Willis Infinity, we have some exciting new things going on, starting with the all-new QX65. We currently have 2 on the ground and more on their way. On top of that, we have all-new 2027 QX60s with rates as low as 2.9% out to 60 months or $3,500 in retail cash. Also, select models, you can lease it for $899 with just $899 due at signing. And finally, for our flagship, we have 0% out to 60 months on the all-new 2026 QX80 or up to $10,000 in retail cash. For more information on these exciting new models and more, visit us online at willisinfinity.com or stop by our...
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire, a front row tickets to every show-yonaire, a hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Coming up now, Travis, Ross, and at least one opinion that will get somebody mad online.